I've been in the emergency room a couple of times. Head injury in Britain. Yeah. I got a fractured skull. So
drinking accident.
No. That one was someone just came up after a gig and smashed my head into a table.
What the fuck is with you and Eddie Ift and audience members fighting?
No, that one, I've only been hit twice. One time's on the internet and is fairly well documented where I got punched. And this other one, just a guy, I never really realised why, he just came up behind and smashed my head into the table. And I fractured my skull because that's the softest bit above your nose, between your eye sockets. And he hit me here, but that bit cracked. And this is the wonderful thing about Britain and the no medical service or anything. They just don't even ask your name or anything. They just take it. Like Jefferies isn't my real surname. I went in under Jim Jefferies. My real surname's Nugent, right? And so I didn't even give him my real name, and they bandaged me up, and then I just sort of left I wanted to.
They said your name was Pele.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck.
And that's the difference. That's the monumental difference in healthcare between the countries, every other country and us. Is that you can just go in and they just treat you. They don't ask for your insurance.
No, they don't ask for your insurance. They don't ask for anything. You can have insurance. You can have it on top, because the thing is, where insurance helps in Britain. Let's say you need to go to a dermatologist because you got some skin thing, right? So you go to your regular doctor, and then he'll refer you to a dermatologist. Now you have to go, if you're on the National Health, you go into a waiting list. And it might be like 3 weeks before you get to see the guy, right?
By that time, you're fucking purple, covered in scabs.
But if you got the private healthcare cover, you go in the next day, right?
Okay.
If you pay the money on top. But otherwise, you join the waiting list, right? So that's the difference. But where it does help is the emergency room with the public healthcare is fucking outstanding. Because it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone gets served exactly the same. You just go in, and you can be on holiday in Britain and break your leg, and they don't give a shit that you're a tourist. They'll still fix you up.
And how do they ensure that you pay them?
They don't. It's paid for in tax money. No one pays.
We left England because we were tired of taxation without representation. And now the grand irony of ironies is that England is taxation, and it's completely represented.
Yeah.
And every step of the way. The streets are paved. I know I'm going to get fucking tweets from England like, I live in Devonshire and my street's not paved.
The tax is about 4 to 5% higher than America. It's not much higher than America. And it's you get a lot more for it, I'll tell you that much.
Have you been to the emergency room in the States?
I know. I can't lie to you and say I have, but I expect it's awful.
Nick DiPaolo, great comic, said,
I love Nick, yeah.
He'd go to the emergency room, and the line is so long, the guy in front of me had a musket wound. I love that shit. I mean, what a fucking line, right? But it really is indicative of like how it goes down. You really feel like such a stooge sitting there with, your throat's closing because you got stung by a bee and you're allergic, and there's just like addicts in front of you like, well, I need my motherfucking medicine. And you just got to wait behind it seems to be a ghetto hangout.
Yeah, when I was in the head injury one, they put me in a room with 6 other guys to spend the night, which should have been called people who act like cunts, right? And it was just a room of drunken, people being glassed. Being glassed is a very popular thing in Britain when there's a fight. Everyone always goes to smash a bottle into someone's face. I used to do a joke about it that was the British are the only people who use the word glass as a verb. Right? So you'd have these guys that were all, their faces were all cut up. I had a fractured skull. And then the cops were coming in and interviewing everyone and just, doing the pulling of the curtain.
Hello?
Yeah. So what happened in this fracas or whatever they call it? Yeah. But it was just drunken punching each other up.
I'm always fascinated with England that the cops have no guns. And obviously gun crime in England is minimal. Like that old Bill Hicks bit, some shit breaks out. Oh, I have a soccer ball. There's no guns in England. And the cops have those little batons. And I always thought
they have pepper spray and stuff.
If a cop pulls you over, you're walking the streets of Mount Olympus, and some shit breaks out, and a shoving match, and a cop gets out of his car, tells you to sit down, and you tell him to fuck up, and he takes out that sidearm and points it at you, you're laying on the fucking ground.
Yeah, but you're not there's not going to be a Trayvon Martin type activity happening as well in society.
Well, there's an ebb and flow, sure.
you gotta weigh up the good with the bad. The reason that they need guns here is because they know the other guy might have a gun.
Well, we know they do, yeah.
Yeah. So, if someone's up to no good, they probably have a gun on them. So the cops have to have a gun. It's,
I guess mostly I'm impressed that the bobbies in England are able to control shit without guns.
Yeah, look, but the riot squads have guns.
Oh.
They can call in guys with guns. It's just the beat cops don't have guns.